I had some people reach out to me on how to use Hapara and iReady. So this video is going to show you how you can do that. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure you are logged into Hapara. So you're going to go to hapara.com and you are going to log in. So just by clicking login, if you're already logged in with your Google credentials, it should display. So I only have one class. I just made one for the Hapara test and I logged in on a student Chromebook and got everything to work. But there are a few minor things that I'm going to explain to you when you do this. So the first thing you're going to need to do is when you are in the class that you're going to be giving the iReady to, you're going to need to make sure that you are in that class on Hapara. What I'm going to do, and you can see one of the students that I use a test one as well as an actual IR student. So when I click on highlights, in the upper right hand corner it's going to say guide browsing. And if you've never been in here before or used this, you can choose a template, which is optional, but I would recommend that if it's something that you're going to use over and over. I created one for this, so I'm going to act like I have not before, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So all we're going to do is, this is how do you want to guide student browsing. We are going to allow students to access only a few specific websites, one of them being Clever, the other one of them being iReady. So I'm going to set up a focus session. So right here it's asking me to open and focus the following links, and where can students go with that link. We're going to leave it as the whole site, and what you have to think about Clever is everything runs through their Google credentials. So if we only allow the East Penn Clever, it will not allow iReady. If we allow iReady outside of Clever, it will not allow. So we have to kind of get them to work together. So the only drawback is it's going to open two tabs for them, and they're just going to have to eventually close one, or they can work in that second tab. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to email these as well, the first link we're going to add is the Clever link. So I have it right here, and I'm going to share these with you. So it's not simply clever.com, it has to be the one for EPSD. So I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go back to Hapara, and I'm going to paste it and hit enter. So it looks like it's just clever.com, but in the grand scheme of things, and in all reality, when I hover over it, it's going to say EPSD at the end, which is what we want. The second one we're going to add is the iReady link. And even though this is just the regular iReady link, it's still going to work through Clever. And I tried it a bunch of different ways, but this is the way it kind of has to be done. So if I did it with just the Clever link, it wasn't working. So I'm going to copy this, and when I go back to Hapara, I'm going to paste that and hit enter. These are the two that I want. Okay, how long is this session? Obviously, it's going to depend. So some of your settings here. One thing I would recommend is at the end of the session, restore students tab. You want to keep that at yes. They might be working on other things for other classes, so you want to make sure that that stuff is restored once your session is done. Who is this session for? It could be the entire class. If you're doing makeups or some things like that, it would just be an individual student. And one thing before you hit start session is, if this is something you're going to use, which I'm sure it is, make sure you save as a template. I can give it a template name, so I'm going to call it iReady template number 2 because I already did one. And then I'm going to go down here and save. So what I can do is start this session, but what I want to do is show you how you can pull that up once it's done. So I'm just going to X out of this. Okay, so when I go back to the guide browsing, I can choose a template, and here it is, iReady template 2. I can hit review, it takes me back to that same screen, and I'm going to now start it, and it says the focus session will begin in, it's counting down from 5, and on the student side, it will show them counting down from 10. Both of the students are offline, but as soon as it counts down to 0, those two tabs will open. One would be Clever, the other one would be iReady. So what they do on the Clever link is they need to log in with Google as they normally would, and when they click the iReady icon, it will open up, and then they can begin. If you have any questions, please let me know.